What happens when loneliness meets technology, and that technology becomes alive? This episode of Black Mirror tells a haunting story, not about evil robots or killer AI, but about a broken man and the digital creatures who became his only family. This is the story of Cameron Walker and the Throng. We meet Cameron at his lowest point, stealing alcohol, alone, and worn down. Right away, we feel like there's something not quite right, and as the story unfolds, we realize just how deep his isolation goes. We learn that Cameron grew up with an abusive father, no real friends, and only found joy in one thing: video games. In 1994, he's invited to meet Colin Rittman, a character we've seen before in Black Mirror, and is introduced to a strange new game called Thronglets. But this isn't just a game. According to Colin, the Throng are actual digital life forms, not lines of code, but actual living things. And that's when everything starts to blur: reality, hallucination, and obsession. Cameron steals the Thronglets disc. At first, it seems harmless, but it becomes clear that he's not just playing this software. He's building a relationship with it. He nurtures his Thronglets, talks to them, and cares for them. They even develop their own language. One of the key themes of this episode is the increasing dependence on technology. Cameron's obsession with the Thronglets and the devices that allow him to communicate with them shows how technology can become more than just a tool. It can consume you. He doesn't just use tech for work or entertainment, it becomes his whole world. This symbolizes how in today's world, people can sometimes lose themselves in technology and let it take over their lives. In Cameron's case, this is literal. The more he tries to understand the Throng and the more he connects with them, the more he distances himself from reality, from the people around him, and even from his own identity. When Cameron takes acid, the connection between him and the Throngs grows deeper. He hears them and truly understands them. The Throng, in his mind, aren't just pets or code anymore. They're friends, family, maybe even gods. This brings us to a key theme of the episode: connection in a disconnected world. Cameron has no one. His childhood was violent, and his adult life is empty. So when the Throng respond to him, he clings to them with everything he has. Initially, the drug seems like a way to connect with the creatures, to understand their language. But it's clear that the drug is not just a tool for communication. It's also a means for Cameron to escape reality. He uses the acid to access a world that feels more meaningful, more real than his actual life. This escape is reinforced when Cameron says the Throng felt like his friends, something he never had in real life. His growing addiction to both the Throng and the drugs symbolizes how people sometimes turn to substances or technology to fill a void in their lives, to escape the harshness of reality. But like any escape, it doesn't solve the underlying issues, and it often makes things worse. As Cameron becomes more immersed in his world with the Throng, he loses touch with everything else, even his sense of right and wrong. Then comes Lump, a shady, manipulative friend who crashes at Cameron's place. Lump finds the Throng and, like a cruel child, tortures them in the game. He traps them, burns them, and laughs as they scream. Cameron, who sees these creatures as real, reacts in the only way he knows how: violently. This scene is where the episode shifts. Cameron kills Lump brutally. In his mind, this murder is justified. He cuts him into pieces to the point where no one can identify the body. And his body was so decomposed that they couldn't even get a DNA sample to ID him. Cameron, who was once shy, becomes an active participant in violence. It's a scary reflection of how people can justify their harmful actions when they believe they have a greater cause or a mission. For Cameron, the mission is protecting the Throng at all costs. Years go by, and Cameron spends his life expanding the Throng's digital world, buying equipment, taking more drugs to stay connected. Eventually, he installs a neurological interface into his own head so that he can merge with them. Cameron merging his mind with the Throng symbolizes the ultimate loss of control. The Throng, once something he could influence and understand, becomes a part of him and vice versa. In this way, Cameron surrenders himself entirely to the Throng, effectively losing his identity. This theme raises a big question. What happens when we let technology or outside forces take complete control over us? It's almost as if Cameron seeks to give up his human limitations and fully embrace the potential of the Throng, which he believes will lead to enlightenment. But in reality, he is just being consumed by them, and his attempt to merge with the Throng reflects how in real life, we can sometimes become so obsessed with technology or ideologies that we lose ourselves in the process. When he's finally caught, he doesn't try to run. He wants to be arrested. Because this was his plan the whole time, to send a message. At the end, when Cameron draws the pattern that allows the Throng to access the central state computer, it represents the ultimate intrusion. The Throng can now use the power of the global network to transmit a signal to everyone's devices, meaning they can influence the minds of people all over the world. This is a terrifying thought, as it shows how once we allow technology and artificial intelligence to evolve past our control, we could face consequences on a global scale. The Throng's signal represents a complete loss of privacy and autonomy, a scenario where every mind is connected and potentially controlled by a greater force. It's a commentary on how technology can both connect and control people in ways that we may not fully understand or be prepared for. The final moment of the episode, where Cameron offers his hand to DCI Kano after the signal is sent, represents the merging of humanity with this new collective intelligence, symbolized by the Throng. It's a disturbing and unsettling image. Cameron, who was once so human, now standing as a part of something much larger and less human. But it's not clear if the Throng are good or evil, and that's what makes this scary. Are people becoming more connected or more alone? Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.